Welcome to the Shadow Talks. Without wasting time, let's go to the video. Have you ever felt safe somewhere you've known for years, only to realize later that safety was just an illusion? Winter does that. It quiets everything. Snow covers the ground, hides footprints, and swallows sound. The world feels calm, but that calm can lie. Especially when you're alone, especially when someone is close enough to watch you, but quiet enough that you never notice. This story still makes me question how much danger can hide behind silence and how close it can get before you finally see it.
Before I continue, there's something important you need to know. I'm hard of hearing. It's something I've lived with my whole life. I miss sounds most people take for granted. Footsteps, whispers, warnings. I've learned to live with it, but that day made me realize how dangerous silence can be when you don't hear what's coming. Even now, I replay that day in my head, wondering what I missed and what might have happened if things had gone slightly differently. I live in a small suburban neighborhood in southern Quebec. My street sits right beside a forest. It's quiet, peaceful, and familiar. Most of the neighbors know each other, and nothing ever really happens there. That's one of the reasons I like it. In winter, the forest becomes even calmer, almost frozen in time. I often walk my dog there. His name is Monty. He's a strong Rottweiler Husky mix, full of energy and confidence. When Monty is with me, I usually feel safe. This happened one afternoon in February. I had just finished a late lunch and decided to take Monty out for a walk to burn off some energy. Overnight, fresh snow had covered the forest trails, turning everything white and clean, like nothing had ever touched it. Monty ran ahead as soon as we reached the trail entrance, excited like always. I let him off the leash, something I'd done many times before without any problems. As we walked deeper into the forest, I noticed signs that others had been there earlier. Boot prints, yellow patches in the snow from other dogs. Most people like to walk early in the day since the sun sets quickly in winter. It was already afternoon, so I didn't expect to see anyone else. The forest felt empty, too empty. But at the time, I didn't think much of it. It was quiet, peaceful, almost comforting. About 30 minutes into the walk, we reached a fork in the trail. One path had been walked on, the other was completely untouched. Smooth snow with no footprints at all. Feeling a little adventurous, I chose the untouched path. I knew these trails well and wasn't worried about getting lost. The path led to a small clearing, and I stopped to use the binoculars I had gotten for Christmas to look for birds along the tree line. That's when I saw something strange in the distance. Near the edge of the trees, there was a blue tarp. When I focused the binoculars, it looked like a makeshift shelter, something someone had put together to live in. My curiosity told me to go closer, but something else told me to leave. The sun was already starting to sink, and the forest felt different now, heavier. I turned around and started heading back the way we came. As we walked back, Monty started acting strangely. He slowed down, sniffed the ground constantly, and stayed closer to me than usual. When I looked down, I noticed something that made my stomach tighten. There were footprints in the snow, large ones, much bigger than mine. I stopped and compared them to my boots. They didn't match. There were no other paths. Whoever made them had passed me without me noticing. I tried to calm myself, telling myself they must have walked past while I was distracted with my binoculars. It was the only explanation that made sense. But as it got darker, Monty suddenly stopped. He turned toward me and started barking violently. That's when I saw him. A tall man stood only a meter away. He wore dark snow pants and a white camo jacket. His hands were in his pockets. He didn't move. He just stood there, staring. He appeared to be talking, but I couldn't hear him. I couldn't read his lips in the darkness. I tried to explain that I was hard of hearing and that I needed to go home. Eventually, I walked away. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. That night, at 3 a.m., my dog woke me barking hysterically.
When the motion light turned on in my backyard, I saw the same man standing at my patio door, watching, waiting, and that's when I realized he never stayed in the forest.
Have you ever trusted a message so completely that you never stop to question it? A text from someone you love feels safe, familiar. It lowers your guard, and that's exactly why it's dangerous. This story taught me that fear doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it shows up quietly, typed out on a screen, pretending to be someone you trust more than anyone else. My name is Ember. I was 16 at the time, living in Illinois with my younger sister, Kate, who was 15. We were close, like best friends. One cold December morning, we decided to go to the movies together. It was supposed to be a normal day, nothing special, nothing strange, just two sisters trying to enjoy some time away from school and stress. We went to see a horror movie, one with Christmas decorations mixed with blood and chaos. Halfway through the film, my phone rang loudly in the theater. Everyone turned to look at me. Embarrassed, my sister and I rushed out. When I checked my phone, I saw it was my dad. A few seconds later, he sent a text asking us to bring him lunch. The small cafe near his work, he said, was closed. The message didn't feel strange. My dad worked in a wooded area about 30 minutes away, and this kind of request wasn't unusual, so we didn't question it. We went home, packed some food, and got into my car. It was winter, and the woods were quiet and empty, but I had always liked that place. It felt peaceful. Looking back now, I realize how wrong that feeling was. When we arrived, I tried calling my dad, but he didn't answer. That was strange. Instead, he texted back, telling us to walk down the hill and meet him by the lake. I noticed something felt off. He was only texting, never calling. But again, I ignored that feeling. The sun was starting to set, turning the sky orange and red. Winter sunsets come fast. As we walked closer, we saw a man sitting on the dock by the lake, his back facing us. He wore dark clothes and a hood. From behind, he looked like my dad. We stopped a few feet away and called out his name. He didn't move. That's when fear began to creep in. My sister squeezed my arm. Something wasn't right. I slowly reached out and pulled the hood back. The man turned around, smiling. It wasn't my dad. He was holding my dad's phone, waving it like a toy. The smile on his face wasn't normal. It was excited, almost happy. Before I could react, he lunged forward and grabbed my sister's arm. She screamed. Pure panic took over my body. I pulled my sister free and we ran. I don't think I've ever run that fast in my life. Behind us, I heard heavy footsteps slamming into the frozen ground. I didn't dare look back. My chest burned, my legs screamed, but fear pushed me forward. We reached the car just in time. I slammed the door, locked it, and sped away as the man rushed toward us. When we got home, our parents were there. That's when we learned the truth. My dad's phone had been stolen earlier that day while he was working. The man had used it to message us. Police later found the phone at the lake, but they never found him. We tried to convince ourselves it was over, that we were safe again. We were wrong. At 1 a.m., I received a message from an unknown number. It said, "I like that your house is lit only by your bedroom TV." My body went cold. I looked out my window and saw him, smiling, a gun pointed straight at me. Glass exploded as he fired. Later, police found an air tag on my car tire. He had followed us home. They never caught him. And sometimes I still wonder if he's watching again. Winter storms have a way of making people careless. The cold wears you down. Snow limits your vision. Silence stretches longer than it should. This happened in 2021, during one of the worst storms I can remember. That day had already drained everything out of me. Work was stressful. Life felt heavy. All I wanted was to get home and sleep. I didn't know that the night still had something waiting for me, something patient, something watching from the dark. Because of COVID, I was working from home. That day dragged on for hours longer than it should have. By the time I finally finished, my family had already gathered at my parents' house upstate. I rushed to get ready, filled 2 cups of coffee, and stepped outside. The snow had already piled up fast. Roads were barely plowed. My car wasn't built for weather like this, but I convinced myself I'd be fine. The drive was awful. Wind howled across the road, and visibility dropped every few minutes. Still, I pushed forward. I arrived late, stayed longer than planned, and had a few drinks. When I finally left, it was past midnight. The storm had only gotten worse. Snow covered everything. I was tired, buzzed, and desperate to get home. That was my first mistake. On a quiet stretch of road surrounded by forest, I made another mistake. I drove too fast. As I approached a curve, my car started to skid. I tried to correct it, but it didn't slow down. In seconds, I lost control completely. The car slid straight off the road and slammed into a tree. The airbag exploded in my face. When everything stopped, all I could hear was the wind. I was lucky. I wasn't badly hurt, but my car was done, buried in snow, stuck deep in the woods. I called roadside assistance, but they said it could take up to 40 minutes. I also called my dad, who said he'd drive out to wait with me. I sat there alone, engine off, surrounded by darkness. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, slow, crunching through snow. I stepped out of the car and listened. The footsteps stopped. Instead, I heard something worse, a wet, slurping sound coming from the trees. I couldn't see much, but I could sense movement near the tree line. I called out, asking if someone was there. No answer. The sound stopped. My instinct screamed at me to get back in the car, and I did, locking the doors behind me. A minute later, something hit the passenger side window, hard. I opened the door again, heart pounding. That's when I saw them. Boot prints circling my car, leading away into the woods. There were drops of blood in the snow. My stomach twisted. I grabbed my handgun from the glove box, convinced someone was out there with me, and that they wanted me to know it. I followed the trail into the woods, my flashlight shaking in my hand. The blood grew heavier. Then I saw it. A deer lying in the snow, ripped open, its head completely gone. Whatever did this wasn't small, and it hadn't been scared away. I backed up slowly, every nerve screaming danger. I turned and hurried back toward my car. When I reached my car and opened the driver's door, I almost vomited. Sitting in my seat was the deer's severed head, placed carefully, facing forward like it was looking at me. That's when I ran. I didn't think. I didn't look back. I sprinted down the road until headlights appeared in the distance. It was my dad. I jumped into his car, shaking uncontrollably. When we went back, the head was gone. The body was gone too. Only blood and drag marks remained. My dad finally believed me. The tow truck came and we left. I never reported it. I still don't know who or what was in those woods that night. Maybe it wanted to scare me, or maybe it was testing how close it could get before I broke. Either way, something was already waiting in the snow. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you on next videos. Till then, goodbye.